people them on good afternoon. Today na Sunday the 26th. No, 25th. I didn't move on go before. 25th of April 2021, and we all just hear the national anthem of Sierra Leone. And the last verse says, knowledge and truth our forefathers spread, mighty the nation whom they led. Mighty they made thee, so too may we show forth the good that is ever in thee. We pledge our devotion, our strength and might that cause to defend and to stand for thy rights. All that we have be ever thine own land that we love our Sierra Leone. With Sierra Leone, we love them. We love with Sierra Leone. We cannot give up on Sierra Leone. We are coming to 60 years of independence come April 27th, 2021. Sierra Leone turned 60 years of independence, and the question say, how far have we come within that 60 years? What if we don't do for benefit? What we do for forward, because we all Sierra Leoneans, in as much as we are fighting one another, we forget SALONE at heart, because there's no need to fight. On April 27, 1961, they come about, say they want independence, and the spirit of the independence, the spirit of 1961, for we people then say we are old enough, we can take care of ourselves. But where are we going and how far we don't come with all these things? So today I get me brother them were there with me at the studio. I get me two co-hosts them, then I get a special guest. Mr. Lassa Saka was one time a presenter on VOS, the voice, the hidden truth, but now he's an aspiring presidential candidate for 2021, and also in the voice of the social welfare of Sierra Leoneans. Anything we get for do with social welfare, but SALONE people them, you go hear Lance and I voice this. Some people might not like what he says, but he speaks his truth. He said the hidden truth of whatever it is, because the mission here is Sierra Leone. I get, of course, me two honorable gentlemen them, Mr. Kutubu Koma, aka our own professor, our honorary professor, the man we know history about Sierra Leone. I hear and they talk then days here, but the chief protocol officer and some other thing waiting at the role and how for set the country state for we able put the right people then at the right place for let all man know in role usai and waiting them for do then job. And also I get a 40 years barrister here, a lawyer, a defense attorney from the United States, North Carolina to be precise. He has practiced law for over 40 years. A lot of knowledge and I aid. So we all day at all for Rob multiple we SALONE business. But before I go to Dande, before I give them chance for themselves introduce themselves, we have 16 tribes in thing. I be one for tell Aduna all them tribe then they but not sabi all their language then they. So I ask una me people they won't get for calling today. Whatever you tribe be, show your tribe, show your culture, tell we what you tribe, and say a language before you begin talk. Greet we people them na that language day. Because if I begin call the one they were sabi, some people go say I not call their own. We don't want to be biased. So but asabi one or two, then can say impiari seke topenda. Then the Limbago say Wali Bena, the thing go say the Mende go say Awana, the Creole man go say Kusheo Kabo Auna they do. So you get boku the Gizi go talk, the Madingo go talk, the Yalonka go talk, the Kawanko go talk, the Fula go talk, the all the other one there where they all man getting on, but then at the diversity of Sierra Leone, we all are one. We all they speak different languages, but the most language, the common language where we all the in a Creole. So now I make we bring this show all the time a Creole for let that power then at the village go able for things. So but let we do a pledge first. Let we pledge, because when maybe the co-op will not be get that pledge there. I think now after the war them, if you go correct me, now after the war them begin that pledge there. But that pledge is very important, because with the see we self, with the fetch we self na social media, with the cost we self na social media, and that is the thing that is troubling what we they see. And the national pledge say, I pledge I pledge my love and loyalty to my country, Sierra Leone. I vow to serve her faithfully at all times. I promise to defend her honor and good name. Also work for her unity, peace, freedom, and prosperity, and put her interests above all else. So help me God. So help me God. So help me God. We sit here daily, talk about salon issues. Me don't always talk and say I'm not there for no side. Anybody where they push salon go before are there for them, because like we always say we don't then come here for long. We want go back na the Sierra Leone where we've been sabi. Let we picking themselves go experience the kind thing that we experience. The family, the love, the togetherness, the unity, the respect for elders, the moral, the moral respect, the way where the village, it took the village to raise the town. Everybody was looking. So let not go far, let bring me co-host them, and then we guess. I will give first to we guess. Let we guess tell una I do. I know say it's a bit few language them. Maybe it go on for tell una and few language them, but everybody Sierra Leonean. Una kamle, una can tell we una own language them, una tell we are doing una language them, because this na celebration we they celebrate. Some people go ask what do they celebrate? We still go celebrate the good and we hope for the best. We still go celebrate with country, because na dande na the thing, but we go talk on the issues what that is not making us get the spirit of celebration. So Lord pass am to Mr. Lancer, that's a call first. I give you first, I yield to you, sir.
Oh, thank you very much, Ms. Fatima and Mr. Kutubu, Mr. Shilon, for inviting me again here, Mami. Home, I go say my hometown of VOS, as you rightfully say, at one time, me not been presenter, but now I come as a guest. So I want to use this opportunity for say again to all VSO families and viewers, for say una adu, una carbon, annually, mpiari, sheke, kasiatama, auna all they do, bua, BCA, bevakau, topendera, tanto kuru, all them thing and they so as we get say with diverse people in Sierra Leone, we expect to know na kalo na tell we adupa on our languages them. So we all go get that unity and lo we know say we they under one umbrella. Now the independence they come very soon in 2 days. Will it become 60 years? VOS, I'm sure then we'll get a special program on that. But it is time for we reflect low. We know Usa will walk with foot so that we go pull that stone down a road and we'll go able for work free and move forward without struggle. So now that make we there. We hope say this show here today will be very informative. And yes, we go get with disagreements them and everything. But we do them in the interest of the Republic of Sierra Leone, not in the interest of any political party. So again, I say welcome. Thank you to me host them, Ms. Fadiba, Mr. Shilon, Mr. Kutubu, and VOS team. And I thank you again one more time for bringing me come.
Okay, Mr. Shilon, go ahead. Mr. Shilon, Professor, go ahead, sir.
We're not there, Mr. Shilon.
We're not there, you.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever on the end of the world. It's a pleasure for come back and join Utuna for let we exchange ideas and wish each other well. So happy Independence anniversary of Sierra Leone to the country and to WISEF. And we hope that we all go make some contribution in terms of how far we don't come, if we've come any distance at all, and how far more we get for go. And so I hope so we'll get a nice discussion. And for so let we wish each other well and let we listen to each other and see what you will get for say. Thank you.
Good evening to everybody, and we look forward to making sure say everybody be part of tonight's discussion.
Okay, Professor Dondon. Yes, we people them. We say we don't 60 years. We say we able to take care of ourselves. We say when the Wetmande we've been there under the colonization of the Wetmande. The Wetmande say, okay, I know say Professor Sabida is today. They talk of then go 1960, is it when they go Lancaster House for go finalize all the detail of we independence. One come out under the Queen, we say we get for take care of we serve. The Wetman they make provision, the left we with waiting the left we. But from where like we been the grab up, we enjoy some of them privilege than they where the Wetman be left behind. Because where you see we all now, we all don't pass, I don't know for Mr. Lance and Asako, but we all don't pass 50 where they now. And we see the things them, we see the spirit of Sierra Leone pass on. We see the problem, the things of Sierra Leone. We see the unity. We see the family. We see the togetherness. We see people helping people. We see neighbor they help poor, the rich they help the poor, the middle class. We see all these beautiful things, all the beautiful country, the things that were in the country. There were jobs, the middle class. But as time come, leader after leader, we see every brick by brick, we begin fall apart. And we are fallen apart to a point where we get for come into a civil war for 10 years of reckless and senseless war. People that led us allow we for fall apart to that point where people can take it no more and they resort to war. Nothing good not they come out inside war. Nothing good. It set we behind 50 years back. It set we behind. And up till now, leaders have come, leaders have gone. They have done a little bit and try for put a little bit, but have they done enough to hold we country and let we move forward? That is the question. Because people say, why do we celebrate? We still get for celebrate the spirit. We have culture. We have things that some people they enjoy for do for celebrate. Because it's not always about serious life. We get for balance with the biological, the spiritual side. And we not a country of religious ceremony where people they elect for pray. And after the war, it's all like mosque and church. They all over the any side you go, you they hear noise, people and they pray from January to December. We pray. Governor Clarkson, when I've been the last governor, he left a prayer for we. Now we country. They talk of if people they not do the things where them for do, where them put in place. May God waiting and call the land will not grow, the land will not prosper. In other words, I just say paraphrase, but that is the thing. We look like they follow we, but we religious people then still they pray, but yes. Some people go argue, say prayer without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. Because if you keep praying, but we're not doing the actions and we're not trying to do the right thing, and we all claim say we belong to a religion, then what good is it for keep praying? Because we keep praying, but we're not seeing any result. The slaves of 400 years, they prayed for 400 years till somebody started say we have to change. This prayer of we shall overcome is not coming. Somebody has to do something before the change that they desire begin for manifest and change begin for come. And today the blacks are free, at least. The blacks, the chains are gone. There are systems that are still that the black people are fighting for equality, but it took leaders and people and generation for let the change come within desire. So Sierra Leone desire change. And in 2018, they said they put the president, this administration, said because they want change. But is it the right change? Are we getting the right change? Are the people seeing the benefits of the change? But then some people also go say, well, not in beginner, because such and such don't do the previous administration, the Koroma administration, they don't do 11 years, they not do nothing. How will Mother Bio make magic in 3 years? But President Bio promise we say he able to do the work. That's why we the people of Sierra Leone and the work. So that we're moving forward. We are here now. Waiting we don't do and waiting we don't do from where they don't left we waiting they do what we go touch we're sustainable where they improve the lives of the people where really they impact the lives of the people where really they give the people the ability the God-given ability for reach the maximum potential is the environment conducive to then kind of thing and then for let growth come for let the change the real change because what you would see is disturbing what you would hear is disturbing so we get for ask the tough questions we get for put them we get for can at the table and talk because if we don't talk it's gonna end up as something we're not going for good again because we get for listen to one another we get for respect one another with differences and with difference of opinion and find a way from it in the middle. So I give it to you, Mr. Shilon, on the side of you were there when Sierra Leone became independent, and you don't dare take up to this day. And we know say with people that lack for prayer. What do you get for say? Because they did a big prayer from Friday. President Beo had the Muslim prayer, and today then get the Christian prayers. And I was watching both of them, and I see with people that still the right, una come on a street, we go kill una. Killing and Christianity and Islam don't go together for kill your fellow brother, for kill your fellow sister, all in the name of party, all in the name of power, all in the name just because I could do it. Mr. Shilon, let pass on to you for sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, Ms. Fadima. Before I touch on that, just for bringing to the attention of we listeners them, we hearing and visual impaired listeners them, but the numbers they wouldn't call just in case they're interested in this and they want to participate. We'll get the toll-free number of 866-944-722. And then we also get the UK number of 44203-239-9581. And then we'll get a WhatsApp number of 343-997-5828. Their numbers there, they announce them just for we hearing and visual impaired. People that want to see, or we probably get difficulty for hearing, but somehow, one way or the other, then if we announce the number, then we'll get a special effect where then they can get hold of them for putting in questions just in case. Now, going back to what Ms. Fadima just said, we all know say this is, for 2 days from now, it could be the 60th anniversary of we independence from Great Britain, which is 60 years of independence. Independence in the common language, it means free from control of anybody else, free forget the ability for determining your own future, your own destiny. The only thing is, 60 years ago, when your own forefathers, them, so to speak, take upon themselves that then can take over from the white man and then can run the country and then can make life better for everybody. Now, we try not for criticize, but we get for analyze. 60 years ago, we people them we barely get anybody we finish university. We get Samuel Timagai, we be medical doctor, we get Albert Magai, we get a plurality of people. Shaka Stevens, MS Mustafa, you get D.L. Sumner, R.D.O. King. These are the people that will be there in the early years in the early politics. C.B. Rogers Wright. But somehow we black man them, and the white man and put the idea in our head. Then we say, without train una, without educate una, without provide infrastructure for una, educational infrastructure, civil service structure with una for able for govern una safe, without provide structure up country from district council to local council to chiefdom, any courts, central courts, then do the best they could for we. Then we push, not for themselves voluntarily just give we power. Now we say we don't learn enough book, we either open enough or we can rule we safe. So the white man is say, yeah, if not so when I say, voila, look, when I come, they would negotiate, they would give the condition under which and when go get on independence, when I go free for rule on safe. And I remember I was a young man, Nabo, Coronation Field. Now they be the main place of celebration. 1960. I be there primary school. But I remember seeing myself there, and that time they both not get mayor and chairman of the Botown Council, they be named Prince Williams. Then I be like mayor. And I remember as a child, we all the sing, oh freedom, and before I be your slave, I will be buried in my grave. I go home to my Lord and be free. These were the words where they for repeat and sing. And we, as children, we don't know what to, but sing we just the oh freedom. And before I be your slave, I will be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. But little did we realize that we were not having the freedom we had anticipated or we have dreamed of, but in the opposite direction. Because once the white man give we that ability to rule we safe, we went completely opposite. Instead of continuing the progress and the trajectory where the white man left we on, the direction we for head, we take completely opposite direction. We never pursue. And so contrary to the popular view, where people can tend for blame the white man for say, oh, they exploit we, then do this, then do that, some of which may be true, then left we with a very well-structured civil service. They left we with a very solid economy. I mean, when they hand over, they left we with a very solid educational structure. In other words, they give we all the instrumentalities we need for move forward, not backward. And without getting into Sierra Leone, that used to be the model country in sub-Sahara Africa, will be the first forget almost everything. First airline, first railroad, you name it, Sierra Leone are the first. Besides, we'll not get into that. So after 60 years, everything we ever had at independence, we don't have anymore. And all the institutions then where the white man give institutions meaning judiciary, education, you name it, all the major institutions that were needed to build a good government. We don't undermine the foundation. We not solidify the foundations. And we pay the price right now. There was a time when you finish school standard 6, you cannot convince anybody that you not pass standard 6. Your grammar was perfect. Your writing was great. Your handwriting itself was beautiful. We're going to be teach handwriting as a subject in school. And so many things we gradually abandon. And there are certain truths we have to tell. When the white man not promote tribalism. Anybody will try to tell you and say, white man promote tribalism in Australian, they get it wrong or they are deliberately misleading the country. The white man not promote tribalism. They try to include everybody. Now, where we can have power, now we, for some strange reason, as intellectually defective and senseless as it was and still is, we just feel safe, me and you to speak one language, we are a totally different person or persons from the rest of the country, which is kind of strange. If me na Timini, you na Limba, you na local, we all Australian, we all na one. But for some reason, people then begin to affiliate themselves much closer to the people with whom they talk the same common language. And this has not taken us anywhere. So now we are where we are. We haven't done much for ourselves. we get a whole, we have failed completely to pass the baton to the succeeding generations, and things are not getting better unless we put we shoulder to the wheel. Things are not going to get any better. Now, Ms. Fadima reference,
Okay.
I'm sorry I'm being long-winded, but I want time to put things in perspective. Ms. Fadima reference this national prayer in Islam and as well as Christianity and other kind of religion. But my own concept about prayer may not fall in place, may not be the standard understanding of prayer. Sometimes you waste prayer, and sometimes you insult the Almighty by even praying. Because when the Almighty does give you all it takes for you to succeed, and you intellectually, mentally, lazily still continue for ask the Almighty for do the work for you where he don't give you all the instrument for. There are times where people they go vex by we and punish we for that. So Sierra Leone, we're a blessed country in the sense that it's a country of small number of people, 7 million people, a country that is very, very rich in mineral resources, agricultural resources, intellectual resources. All I can liken that kind of ability there to a parent who will go on a trek. Before he left home, he filled the house with enough food for him family, for sustain or keep themselves till he come back. But when he step out there in the kingdom, instead of them fix the food and eat the food the parent don't left, then sit down the staff themselves, then they wait for their mama or papa come back for feed them, even when the food did it. So we get all the mineral resources here. We're sitting on it. We don't know what to do. But with the sit down, Chinese man come, he trick we. He take 1 billion, he give you 100 million, and keep the rest. The Western nation, they can't do their own. If we continue this trend, we have nobody to blame for. We say prayer is not going to change that direction there. Because now we intellects, now we common sense, now we own desire, we own vision, all of which God give we. Now we for put in play for benefit we save and we picking them. So for this time,
Okay,
that's all I
thank you.
get to say.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shilon, and to you, Mr. Sako. Sir, I know say you big on social issues. We see the things, the social issues, then a free tongue. We done 60 years. What thing are you take? How far have we come? And what thing in observation? And no say those are the things that are inspiring you because you feel say you go can't make that change and you go can't impact the life as a psychologist. That is what you do every day. And right now, as I speak, there was a gentleman where we've been seeing Sierra Leonean that was homeless. I think it was a Mr. Jabi. I know say right now, you go out there, people were saying, Mr. Lasana, place up in a street, a bring and canarios. I know say the gentleman is still at your house under your care. You're trying to help him. With that kind of thing there, and a lot of the similar things and similar stories within a Sierra Leone where they happen. And I know say you get thing there where you reach out to people them. Waiting you go say how far we don't come and waiting we need for do and waiting at the team will make you one for run for president for make the change and the 60 years we don't reach so for bring the change to the people, the work of the people where the people deserve and desire. What do you go say with that?
Thank you, Ms. Fadiba. And again, viewers, again, I hope say, and I believe say when I will welcome you with open hands. And Mr. Shilon don't hit directly the nail on the head. We get the institutions, but are they functioning? Why are they not? Now, incompetency, lack of leadership, and a host of other things that we know they happen, greed and corruption. Now, in the way the weight man left, we as Mr. Shilon say, and he make reference to somebody where they go trek, he left all things for let people eat. Now, he go take down, I know saying that Mr. Shilon mean, we get with natural resources, we get with human resources that we will go tap into, but we not get the leadership skills, we not be leader way innovative, but most of what we not get leaders them, we believe in leaving a legacy. That's not the problem. If you believe, say, you want to leave legacy, then you go afraid, say, where you come out. let people and not say you don't can mess up everybody in life. But if you believe in legacy, you go do everything tooth and nail so that tomorrow where you don't go to the ages, Sierra Leoneans then will continue for enjoy waiting for them. But we don't have that. We're not sorry for we the come now for we self we come. Today na Sierra Leone, waiting don't happen. This thing don't graduate now. Not to only political parties they fight each other, but these political parties where they in almost 60 years come to 27 to 2 days. Wow, seeing the video not stable. I don't know why. Well, when I go able to go back, when I come back, let me just go back and come.
Okay.
The video not stable. I will come back to this.
Okay, Mr. Professor, Mr. Lance, and I will come back, my people. Then sorry, in video, in kind of internet, they get problem with the internet. You go back and come out, maybe just go and come back out, and Mr. Kutubu, sir, Professor, your name for honorary professor for a reason, because you tell the stories of the past, you tell the stories of Sierra Leone, and you call the wrongs as you see regardless of waiting and call. And one of your slogan where I love, I don't have a permanent friend, I don't have a permanent enemy. So waiting at you take, how far have we come in waiting? Now this thing, the spirit is kind of like looking dead for Sierra Leone. The social media is with the tear we self apart. Sierra Leone, how far have we come with the thing? Because a country where me sabi, where yes, people like make plaba, but the plaba not they go far. But to the point where we get to a war, to the point where we see right now on social media, people in the pill cutlass by themselves, to the point where they see now on social media, the police, because the world done small because of the cameras, the world done small because of the phone. You don't get for grab, usha you there, or go inside airplane, or the plane for go, or boat or ship or whatever it is, for go other side. You there right there, the thing happened right there in that second day, the world they see the thing on the waiting that you don't take on all what you don't see, and waiting at the thing where you feel say wrong, and I will go fix that wrong day of we country, because we all want where we all they talk we want with SALONE for go before. So waiting at you sir all this way you go add.
Thank you. I will put it in two contexts. One, you are where the wait man call coming events cast your shadow. Then you are what they call paradox of leadership. That are the point. I go back to waiting happened Lancaster House, May 1960, when they go for negotiate independence. Waiting take place there. Waiting they see the episode today, it manifests itself here. Waiting happen. The seed of problem, Shaka Stevens' family plant the seed of problem for the country. Waiting in go do na Lancaster House. As a matter of fact, not to even one of the people who signed independence accord, because it don't may create so much other color and get cause for left. Fast forward, we get independence. We get independence, money, hold them together. Until Friday, April 26, 1968. Once you get to that point, we'll get to that point, we change the trajectory of governance in the country. How? With good friend Shaka Stevens, he emerged on the political horizon, the leadership he taken. Where he taken, everything will be original and profound. You understand? What will be talk of everything will not be known. The country will be seen from until we get independence. I own all not about them here, everybody. And we, of course, are the thing that. So the fundamental question we should ask is, how then, on the face of all the things we talk about, how Salion and they call the anthems of West Africa, here because of academia, how Salion they will be there, even we don't judge them or again at the country, that then they go preside over cases in Gambia, how Salion where na in have been the colonial headquarters, where all the other countries there, where we how Britain the government we now from yonder now we have been the headquarters. how we don't come up from the pedestal of grace to the abyss of irrelevance. These are the fundamental questions in here. Oh, they actually said, and like I say, that happened. I make I give you the date, Friday, April 26, 1968, when Shaka Stevens take over. What did he do? He changed how governance they work. He bring in something more to the Soviet, the Chinese, the Cuban, the North Korea, and all that kind of a system of governance that he bring to the country. And when you get that kind of country, everything we originally profound about humanity, you the jettison now. All of them tell what this is so a day like today. Now yonder, that the antecedents and we trace them to the advent of Mr. Shaka Stevens and the sort of government we bring. Now the fundamental question you will get, we want live with the status quo or one return to waiting in. Because for them, we can you need to talk about things where you said you see where you are aware of. Me and you before for you go be a testimony, say we soldier man there, you know, be the see them at all. The only tell with some of the empire we see them see the only tell the see soldier man there where they get much past. You know, they see them at all. Then I want to we police officers, they were actually what it is for the police officers. They're very physical appearance, we see how they dress, the uniform, them, all that thing they see. What happened because such time when they get people the way the way thing values them, when they people them handle we judiciary they can tell you now be one of the best. We get judge them where they go sit on a Gambia from Saline for go decide cases them, we get all of them in there. We've virtually had everything. So what Mr. Stevens too, other than he build on, he continue that legacy, what he do, he totally dismantle. For example, when I hear what they say by law, you say the vicinico. What that means though, the man devalue academia. Such time when somebody come on a University of SALONE, where commodity, you are head in the highest esteem. Nowadays, somebody they come on college, so you paper, you they look paper when you write. You wonder who's college where you go. Who that give them gradient? And this even goes to even some of the lawyers. Let them the program where they do SALONE talk forum. I don't get people that way they send papers and when lawyers they write. And you know this land business we put in the grab, they land it and when I can read some of them papers, these are papers written by lawyers. Lawyers. You they wonder whose law school they people are go. Who that certified them for be lawyers? So did they show the depth at which the nation don't fall? You see the depth. Everything like I say we originally profound about the country, it don't go to the abyss. So what we need now for do, because we cannot keep talking about the problem. We need to talk about the solution. So the question is then what's in the solution? How we go move from point A to point B? The answer is very simple. It's very simple. How we able to fix that? We therefore decide to be a nation where governed by the fundamental edifice of the rule of law. We therefore be a nation where the only thing where we believe in, where they are the basis of the society, why the society is the rule of law, where nobody not in office or is not too big for the above, neither you're not so insignificant where they under everybody. When we hold everybody accountable, everybody there has to be unintended consequences from the president. For example, SALONE are the only place where they see a sitting leader whilst in the office, they not go, you commit crime, they not go do that to you. But then America get that, but then get a caveat. Whilst they in office, you commit crime, the parliament. Now that means when the people them, the 16th century people, them people like Montesquieu, them, people like John Locke, them, when they put governments together, they make three major segments. Who now job now for write the laws, who now job now for who now job now for interpret. When we get a kind of a system where the parliament will able to hold the leaders accountable, but how does it happen? The parliament and census need for be supervised because they don't know what's in the paper. So again, as I wrap up, here is my solution. Until SALONE decide for be a nation when the rule of law now they serve as the ethical foundation and the moral compass are the only thing that when we talk about SALONE, sitting in the place when the rule of law, we not to the banana, not to the jungle mentality, not to this, because SALONE not be the prehistoric hellhole on the face of the planet. But every day we see them. So I don't care who's leader with time power. I'm not trying the thing until we decide. Say we are a nation of law. Thank you very much, and back to you guys.
Thank you so much. Mr. Sakot, welcome back, sir. Like I ask you again, the independence is 60 years. How far have we come waiting with the sea wrong? And are you satisfied with the Sierra Leone you say where we get today? Go ahead, sir. Let yourself finish your thoughts where you've been there on
No,
the
once more again, sorry, we've been get some internet connection problems. I don't come back. I mean, the key example waiting the small thing way Mr. Shilon just summarize where now the basic problem now we country. And I just hear a small part of Mr. Kutubu in yon. All them things there, Mr. Kutubu, then they in place, then they already in the books. But the problem is not dust, then they collect. That's the problem. Nobody not able for enforce them. And why make you not able for enforce them? The lack of leadership and willingness to do it. Because everybody is selfish. They're there for themselves and their family members, but not for the country. Now that make I talk about legacy. When you rely on legacy, you go give yourself selflessly for achieve that one day, even if you go without you nor it. But you want where you come out, the people the way you don't preside over, let them get something and let them young picking them after you let them go, they call your name. If you can America, there one word way John F. Kennedy, he say America go to the moon. And that is during the Cold War. He once let America stand out as the superpower of the world. So that go where America go na the moon, that is symbol to the rest of the world say, "Una not play with you." But waiting again, he do. He instill in the citizens of Americans or any American for be proud of themselves and for let them compete against any other nation by making sure they invent things that today technology way they around the world. Now America, but not because their forefather tell them say, "Una strong, now una na the best, una na the most exceptional human being in the world." So all those things in the play now somebody inside in psyche. The policy way go make let you think that way. Now you leader. We not get that. We they see killings they happen in Sierra Leone. We know the every president they come, they team up, they address the nation. Instead, you go na SLBS, you say me na man of a few words. If you na man of a few words, any president in the world, when a man of a few words, is not supposed to be president in that country. Because if you're a man of a few words, then you cannot address the nation. You cannot talk to the nation what is going on. You're not go able for energize them. You're not go able for let them get confidence in themselves. And then during times of sorrow, you're not go able for give them hope. So if you go able go around your campaign, you tell people and say you are the best for this country. But then you come on national television, you say, "I'm a man of few words." You are not supposed to be president in any nation, not even a mayor or a chiefdom police, head of police. Because waiting na leadership. Leadership not to for sit down behind the desk and you begin talk. No, or you write paper. Leadership now for anticipate. When you see the problem where you come out, you talk to your people, then you anticipate. Waiting there for happen so that you will take proactive measures, either by words, backed by action, and then you talk to your people that you go able for instill that kind of thing. When Roosevelt come, when the war day, he tell Americans, he say, waiting we get for fear, now fear itself. Because if we're not afraid fear, then whatever we're afraid, now in will come to it. But if we fear, then we grab say we're not afraid fear, then we will put our words or our thoughts into action. So every president gets in yon. When Obama come, he want put healthcare. What thing he do? He rally people them, but he use incense again. He tell we all because of the racism and the way we think the makeup of the thing they in a black man. If Fred say he go lost, if he go team up before them people and what thing he do? He do wetin leader go do. He think twice, could think fast. He pull himself for say, "Let me not get this name me one grain. Make her send me vice president because in a white, then go able for identify with her more than me. This na 100 years they don't try, they not get her. Let them not can say how black man go come after 100 years again." So he play that tactics. They Biden na in go approach the people there. But where are those leaders in Sierra Leone today? We don't have it. The worst thing today in Sierra Leone, what would they see? Look at waiting happen in parliament. People and go there. These are leaders. Where they make the law, they write and for let benefit me and you. But these are the same people. Because of disagreement, them broke chairs, broke 6 mics. How you expect people like Adebayo to behave? How you expect me to behave on the social because you cannot stand there as a role model and ethically tell me, say, what I do is wrong. When I can point to you, say, now you supposed to guide me, but you not guide me. Now, low pull and party politics. These two people, APC and SLPP, the problem is Sierra Leoneans get for no say. The problem where they exist in the country between APC and SLPP is dangerous, and then get for look beneath for let them able for change. And what is it? Then don't personalize the anger. Anything when you take personally, even if the other one do right, you go say na wrong. Now tease it, they tease you, or it they try for insult you, intelligence, or in they try for go ahead, let you dey bien. You go attacker elect na anything good he do. So this na in the go between APC and SLPP. Then don't personalize the anger and the hatred way they between them. Now the people of Sierra Leone they suffer. Two elephants they fed. Now the grass now in they suffer, and we the Sierra Leoneans now we na the grass. Wait till we get for do for finish this problem. Now for get rid of these two. Let them go stand by and be spectators. The breath of new fresh air come in and lead Sierra Leone to the future. Now that's me able for tell you.
So, Mr. Lancer, now you say personalized anger. Personalized anger. The people that don't personalize the anger, and anything will happen, even the intent you take and say it dishonor you or disrespect you. So therefore, the other side they show in power and in might now say now me then a power or now me on turn this, because that's the word we hear on social media. Now we turn, if we make so we go do so, if we make so we go make so, and that is what we hear. And the question now is, will they go to the side of the brutality? Will they go to the side of the lawlessness? Let we go first to Parliament. The high increase of lawlessness inside we country, because we don't see all this week on social media. There was nothing good coming out of social media. All right, let we go first to the Parliament. The Parliament, the president say he want for do census. Normally, the thing what we don't used to is say census now every 10 years. But there is a provision where the law say the president can make a census at any time. Okay, so it one go pull, it call emergency meeting to Parliament, and then the speaker and I go to the speaker say I want an emergency meeting of Parliament, and I want for ladies this case for the census at the table. So the speaker, according to the speaker, he said the president get it right, and he showed the law, and we all agree. We don't see the law because we all sabi read the president. But the thing is, the procedure, the way it was done, the way they go about doing it, that was the contention of the opposition, and that's why we saw what we see na Parliament. Because if you say the president get it right, you supposed for tell the opposition. The opposition, they claim, say they not tell them. The speaker say that they know on Friday, and how did it communicate with the opposition? It was not done properly, said the opposition. I want to quick on the two side, because we get for play the inside them. Una get for Yeri waiting and say, because the tug of war, and in the end, and I put on my status, the Parliament is in turmoil, and the people of Sierra Leone suffers again. The people of Sierra Leone loses again. The people's business is not being done. And we know say President Bio don't get a 30 million grant from World from the World Bank or whoever we want to sponsor the statistics, because they are listening later on after the fact, because that's why sometimes we do stuff backwards. But after the fact, they come out say the last census, this was a couple of days after all the mess they have done, then come out on I think it was a Wednesday and Thursday on Radio Democracy, and then come out say the census then get 2 point something million gap, because when they count, or wherever they recount or whatever they do, they had this administration say it was 5 million. The last census says 7 million. So 2 point something gap there between it. That is what they are saying. 2 point something million gap is a long time. where the former administration don't claim say the one where the census where they been due, and there were international bodies there that were helping them, and it was a legitimate thing. So where did the 2-point-something million gap come from? Where they're waiting and call? I think that is the reason why they want to do. But they did not put it forward till after the Katakata na parliament. Then now all of a sudden we can now say 2-point-something million gap there for later thing. So we're doing things backwards, because like how rightful to say we all get angry, but we say we all the try for saying now we not the boss, we can do anything what we do. And I don't just listen small party two side them of the speaker, and then you hear the opposition headed by Cherikoko, and let we hear what they say.
This is how SALONE is. Under the Honorable Speaker, this is how Parliament has been turned into. This is how the Honorable Speaker Abbas Bulu has done Parliament. This is what Honorable Abbas Bulu has done to Parliament. This is how Honorable Abbas Bulu has done to Parliament. This is what Honorable Abbas Bulu has done to Parliament. This is what Honorable Abbas Bulu has accused.
Put the mic at the table.
No, we all put the record at the
to go in his problems. The silence. Light mode. Follow the kind silence. See on the flight mode.
This was in flight mode.
It get bad.
Put on flight mode.
Members of the media, I welcome you all to this press conference. Let me start by saying very loudly and clearly that what happened today at the well of the House is the most unfortunate. The most unfortunate because the behavior of some members of Parliament not compatible with the dignity and the honor and integrity of being a member of Parliament. Their behavior can only be described as thoroughly dishonorable. We're a house where they make laws, and therefore now we first duty as members of Parliament now for obey the law, because now we're responsible. Out of the three arms of government, we take the primary responsibility for making laws of the land. We, the lawmakers, therefore, cannot be seen by the public to be behaving in a manner contrary to the law itself. So let me say on behalf of the entire institution of Parliament that I regret what the public see don't happen in Parliament this morning. It's indefensible, it's unwarranted, totally unnecessary, and a complete affront to the dignity and honor of Parliament. Now, make I explain to you very briefly putting at the procedure for reconvening Parliament today. The last time we Parliament may sit, then we adjourn, sine die. For reconvene a Parliament we don't adjourn, sine die, the procedure is clearly laid out in SO4. It requires consultations between me, the clerk, and the leader of government business, the leader of the opposition, for reconvene the Parliament day. Why? Because when you adjourn sine die, they give members them an opportunity for travel. Some they go to their constituencies, some even they go out of the country to go attend to private matters. So it's necessary for give them notice. So once you don't adjourn that way there, for let Parliament come back and meet, they require 21 days notice. I want this to be very clear to everybody in the country. 21 days notice. That is if na me as speaker reconvene and adjourn the Parliament, we don't, as I say, adjourn sine die. But this particular reconvening today, not to me as speaker, reconvene Parliament. Therefore, that SO day where the Honorable Leader of the Opposition been the site as his own authority, is not applicable at all. Is not applicable at all in this particular instance. Because not to me summon Parliament for sit today. Naturally, we are going to know who that then summoned this sitting of Parliament. And I go tell you. Now, His Excellency the President, now him by order summon this sitting of Parliament. Who side President get the authority for do that? You not get under the SO's standing orders of Parliament, where in fact na subsidiary, subordinate legislation. I wonder when I understand this. Never mind when they hear with the quote SO this, SO that. Now, a body of laws, but they are subordinate to the constitution of the land. The constitution is the supreme law of the land. No law, no they supersede what the constitution says. Any law will contradict or contravene what the constitution says, that law they not they stand in all and void. I'm sure we all understand that. Now there is a provision in the constitution, very clear, in language very simple. It vests power in the president at any time. And I want the emphasis on that phrase. The power of the president, which it gets under section 86(1) of the Constitution, Act number 6 of 1991. To give the president the power at any time for summon a meeting of Parliament. And at that the president do. And it is within his constitutional competence for doing. Where is leader someone there? Authorize the clerk for immediately convene a sitting of parliament, for let parliamentary convene. Unlike SO4, we require 21 days notice, Section 86(1) of the Constitution not require the same notice at all. Otherwise, we will not give meaning to the phrase "at any time." Make a read them so it will become clear. 86(1), when are the pertinent provision for now, reads, the president may at any time summon a meeting of parliament. Language very simple, very clear. Say for even give notice. But we know, since parliamentarians may not take an adjournment, I therefore authorize the clerk of parliament for give notice. And if you don't get that notice, this is last week. When was it? Friday. For inform them, say, we get a meeting of parliament today, Monday, the 19th of April. And ask let all mankind. So, voting the leader of the opposition, a man way I get the great respect for. But in this particular instance, I'm sorry to say, we try for misleading self, misleading party, and mislead parliament. Because he dwell on SO4, and this reconvening of parliament will not come about under SO4. It come about under a section of the Constitution, section 86(1) of the Constitution of Sierra Leone. We give the President of the Republic the power at any time for summon a meeting of parliament. I hope I don't clarify this, because otherwise people they will go with the mistaken impression, say, oh, now impose. We try for impose this sitting on members of parliament. And the president, it went by way of a proclamation. And like I read to Una, put in the proclamation, say, in exercise of the powers conferred upon him by subsection 1 of section 86 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone 1991, Act number 6 of 1991, the President hereby makes the following proclamation. 1. Parliament is summoned on the 19th day of April 2021 at 10 o'clock in the forenoon, made this 5th day of April 2021. So as I will say, the Parliament, the Constitution, give the President of the Republic the power to summon a meeting of Parliament at any time, especially when there is a matter of national importance.
Same thing with this. Another leader will come after 1 year, say, I want to do census. Down the process. Now the opposition remind government, say, you know they do census without parliament. Remember the census was announced in July, not so. How many months this? Not almost 10. Why it happened? Because the opposition raised alarm and said, hey, una don't violate procedure. If you don't violate procedure 10 months, the best you can do is to consult. But the speaker they at fault also. If the leader of the opposition don't raise procedural matter, not try for bulldoze, because you know the context. Call the leadership out, stand parliament down, and that's what we used to do to resolve issues. But if you get that attitude, say everything for bulldoze, people for just comply, it is wrong. It is not for today. Every bad precedent will be used in the future by a bad leader. This was wrong. Second, even with all this coming, how can you deny the opposition the right to speak? How can you do that? Honestly, I'm not so. How can you deny the leader of the opposition? Mr. Be the wait for take the floor. How can you do that? Is this a democracy? This is why we say the democracy is a threat. Really now. You're forcing through a census. This same census, where the previous one, some of you will be raised concerned and energy. They give you full assurance, the consultant, the way all country 2015, say it was legit. This is how it was done. When you begin to force things through parliament, and not to one, it accumulates the cause tension unnecessarily. Other issues they do on floor where all man knows say yes, the opposition concerned. Reform of the local government. We don't show the flaws, the lack of proper consultation, cybercrime day. This for concern now. That was smuggled in today. If not to be this disruption, it would have been late today and gone. Yeah? These are things smuggled in, not correct. People they tell you they already feedback. Oh, now we in governance. But hey, somebody will be in governance in 20 years. That's why procedures must be followed properly. Debate must be had. To force things through down the throats of MPs is not correct. We are not for violence. We will never support violence. We also believe procedures must be followed. I think it was incumbent on the Speaker to listen to the opposition on this matter, because we've been complaining for a long time. That's the least he could have done. That's the least. He could have stood down Parliament to say, okay, let's go on it. We've done it before, several times, with tension. I think the whole process was wrong. What happened today? Force will not solve our problems. It will just lay bad precedents, and I assure you, the young people, somebody will use these bad procedures one day against you. So that's what I would say. The technical issues have been explained already by the leader of the opposition.
Before he comes in, I just wanted to add something. Thank you, Doctor. One thing also that is very clear in the Statistics Act, that council, there are two key people who are members of that council. One of them happens to be your president, the president of SLAG. He is a member, so you must ask him questions. What procedures have they followed? Why are they at this point? Whether he has been consulted. Because he's there representing you. He should be coming back to SLAG to explain. The UNDP is also a member. So the UNDP, some of us will be engaging them. We want to know what their take is. What role did they play? Were they part of the council that met? Were they part of the decisions? This is something I wanted to bring to them.
Very undemocratic, because in a democratic society, I believe in dialogue and negotiations are one thing and the way democracy teaches to. If we get differences, we talk to ourselves so that we will be able to understand ourselves and then we move on. This issue about the laying of paper, first of all, there was a proclamation where we give power to census, to statistics for let them start the process of cartographic mapping. And now they bring another proclamation now because the leader of the opposition will not raise and say the process is done. Now they delay up today. Several questions they were supposed to be asked. But because of this disruption, the way before ask the questions they need. Because if that's not the case, then they just delay the paper now. Then what happened to the fundings where they may not be spent before? We will declare them fundings and they say they're illegal or they're legal. Because if they're now on the table now, then that's not one. And then this questions them where the opposition leader.
Okay, we not get the one way Cheikoko they talk on waiting have been the team where Nadande have one let them play, not to this one really. This one show the other opposition them. But the one where Cheikoko they explain, it was not that he say the president no get right. It was the procedure that was not followed. And then it just say they one can sneak in stuff into them where your heart is followed. And that is the danger of how we try they do things in SALONE, where we not follow procedures. We just want to do we own way, and people are ready to do things for their government we're illegal just because, and that is not looking the government for make the government look good. Anything we get for be done, if we do on the right way the first time, there will be no problem. So gentlemen, them I pass on to now Mr. Sarkophos, I go with you, sir. You see, and I know say you make a okay, Professor, you go first then.
No, there you go. You don't get. Let go.
Okay, because you are making quick. You know, on a
I
low
dey
time
always
for
say,
shorting with
then two
18 cents.
party,
There we go.
I dey always say, if you want for find fault on Pope Francis, I don't care whose good way you do, you go find fault. Same as Jesus Christ, same as Prophet Muhammad. And then two party are the personalized anger, they don't go to beyond waiting self, they affect now the citizens of Sierra Leone. When we take them, we expect them for behave in the highest moral, ethical, and professional standard. Cherry Coco, as the leader of that party, not only now a member of parliament, this is a man that has become number 3 now we country. This now a lawyer, we know the constitution in and out, a very brilliant, charismatic guy. For just because una disagree, or them put something inside the bill or waiting on account for, that for raise you anger level for let you resort into violent act, wherein people the way they admire una, they watch una, picking the way one be like una, they watch una. They uncalled for first of all, 2, now for condemn them completely. But this they show the level of personalized anger between the APC and the SLPP. We see if shooting occur, that just point some of the anger between them two. Yeah. If shooting occur, na yeah, if the government of the day na Indua, you go see say this go well in uniform, either APC or SLPP uniform. If na SLPP ground, it go there. You not go see APC there. Or if na APC area it happen, you go see the APC people there. They all go come. Then they no SLPP no go there. In fact, then go threaten. Say if the other party candidate na die go happen. All this they show say then 2 years we're supposed for lead with they're not able to lead themselves in the first place. You never go make a big house way past 7 million, 2 houses the no more way una day APC and SLPP una not able for govern on ourselves, una not able for position on ourselves for low una make let the country go before. The only alternative the only solution now the citizens way they on the ground for watch these people and see them and say 60 years now, just 2 days from now will they become 60 years. At the end, now we they can't see the man the way they make we law for say if we not do this with the whole then not accountable. These people, whether them or not even come and talk to the people them for say what we do is wrong. We behavior was unbecoming. But now then 2 parties there do where this one kind of power it pick so in people them. It puts them. Now, okay, the executive branch, pick who I want pick. But what about the other 400 appointments? The North Day, the South Day, the East Day, the Mende Day, Limba Day. If you mix them together and make them equal representation, then TIA all will go avoid all them TIA. But each government will come, then no for say, for let country begin the progress. The foundation is peace and unity. From there, you build on that. If me and you know they in peace, how I go call Mr. Shino? I say, can't eat to me. Or Kalo can't see we talk. He go tell me, say flat out, no. I don't care whose idea I get. And the idea we in get for let it give me, when me no, I go miss the money. So this is the problem that is going on. Sierra Leoneans when they vote, they need to wake up and stop for chook themselves, cause themselves, mammy, cause them people there, then self no discipline. But that's me to tell you.
Okay, yeah, Professor, I go to you, Mr. Mr. Lansana Sako talk on Cheno Majuba, Chenoba, Kucheriko Koba, the leader of the opposition, say
Give me 1 second.
they not be
Hold on, Ms. Fadiba.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. General Majuba, they don't exercise in power as Speaker of the House. When him in there Speaker of the House, he make them handcuff a whole minister because he not shut up. They handcuff and carry and go na CID. A whole minister. Cherry Coco did that. He tell the minister, shut up, he not shut up inside parliament. They handcuff and carry and go. He was on the newspaper. The guy been there on the newspaper. The minister. In fact, I go call him. It was then the Minister of Social Welfare, Stephen Gauja. They handcuff him.
Okay.
Because
so does that make it right? Is that not the two where they talk about the back and forth, the tug of war, the fight for power? Because Cherry Kokobi don't do them, not make it right for the other procedures not follow in parliament. Procedures are made to be followed. Rules are made to be followed for to get a peaceful society. That's why they rule and they order. So, Professor, I go to you because you see Yeri, the other side, and does this make it right? Does this make it right for, say, because these other people they don't do them, or because the president has the thing, we should not follow the procedure. We for just jump all the procedure and shove it down everybody else in throat. Where the other we don't Honorable Kande Yunkela and the other C4C honorable, and we also hear Shariko say it was the way they were doing it, and then we not say policemen then go inside there, they begin pepper spray, the police then begin fetch the set. There was fighting among police officers in the well of the parliament, where they all call themselves honorable men, but people are fighting and standing their ground. What do you think, Professor? But all what do you see so?
When you live in a society where the logic of lawlessness, like a way of life, we all now this now so for live. Now this define with humanity. Now this you see. The level of dishonesty we see then they play. The moral bankruptcy on a part. The lack of patriotism on a part also Nayaso is probably alarming. This is very simple. When we start this discussion here, waiting I be telling them, I say we get for be a nation of law. This constitution where they see so this 1990-91 constitution now in the greatest threat to the very citadel of the nation in Westby. The one they will be friendly constitution them in doing because they not be feel say they go come up and power. Okay. They not be expected. So what do they do? They cherry pick le mondo. We are able to speak talk clearly about procedure. I mean about proclamation. Clearly enough, the speaker talk about that. The speaker clearly cite authorities, but simply because this not favor them, so now that make this constitution is very wrong. It's very wrong, but if not in they continue. So everything else will happen under equal because we so forbid a nature law. Waiting for stress. We for begin stress, we need laws them. We go take into account the well-being of the country, not to a political party for support. Clearly enough, this 1990-91 constitution is there for support. Now, President Leone instance say he not go one let them change this constitution. You know why? Because it a benefit out of her. It will benefit out of her. Now he make not go change them for bring like Justice Coward in constitution. When he come up and power this now. When the next one comes, when they begin, then they will go in opposition, they will begin complain. You only call SFPP, they complain, when APC be in power, now the thing auto a river. So now they can say the intellectual dishonesty, the moral bankruptcy on the people then, the hate, where they hate SALONE, you only call Mr. Sankot. So what they do, they not take their unadulterated anger, their power grab, their self-worshipping vanity. They not take all that and then erect them, before the people there. So that don't suffer now. John the Kuna say 2 big elephants and they defect. So that they suffer, the grassland they suffer. Now this. So not even if we talk about procedure now anymore because the speaker has laid it out. It tells plain. It talks about the proclamation. So the question is, this constitution is good or not? Now that before even debate on. Because if it was logic of syllogism for tell you, if he been right yesterday, then equally he right today. But as far as we concerned, none not right. None. This constitution where they been doing because people they may say they will remain in power to go now in our greatest threats now until we change and we get a real loss, we go take into account the country. So back to you.
Mr. Shillong, sir, I'll pass on to you because there are two wrong is wrong, wrong is wrong, wrong is wrong. Because I get the other audio where Chenoba himself explaining his side where we get his own voice for Yeri because he was the one that the mic was shut off on him where everyone for talking all that as he claimed. And we get for go before, we get for push we country go before, and now the one day where they make the laws, there is the back and forth, the pulling and the struggle for power and who is right. But waiting at the thing where go wrong here, Mr. Shillong, waiting at the thing because we read and say Kanda Yunkela verify that and Terry Coco and the other man verify that if the law say the president has the right, you have to inform the parliamentarians them. And when you inform the parliamentarians them, you inform them the right way. But they are claiming that it is on social media that's the Yeri. Then Yeri, allow listen to Cheriko, then Mr. Shillong go come in. That it was on social media that the Yeri, this thing they happened. And is that right? Is that right for laying at social media? If we want for do right, if we all say we love we country, if they all call themselves honorable men, is that right for lay? Because the law give the president the right, the parliamentarians are part of the process and they have to be informed. According to them, they were not informed. When I listen back again to the to Cheriko Koyon side, and then we go to Mr. Shillong.
This morning, and we will continue for challenge until they correct her. Parliament is the house of laws and procedure. But the constitution established parliament. Parliament not established itself. So when they do the constitution, they get different areas of the constitution. If you can see, we get laws where they deal with forestry, where they deal with PPRC, where they deal with NEC. They all get individual legislations. The constitution, not just the broad outline they did. Any outfit where they create, then they get the little details. So the area where cover parliament, and the standing orders, that the laws where they guide the regulations and operations of parliament. And one of the things I want to remind the speaker about today, SO43, there is a proviso to that SOD. Clear. Nobody knows say the president don't get power under 86(1) for call parliament when he wish. Nobody knows say that. But two reasons, two problems. One, the SO very specific. So when the president called the speaker, say wants an emergency sitting, then definitely the next thing will happen. The speaker for call the majority and minority leaders, the parliament, together with the clerk, and get consultations. As I talk publicly today, that not be happening. The social media will begin hearing and see things. Up to this point where they talk to us, so with all the illegalities we don't compound itself, up to this point, nobody not consults me, and I show some of my colleagues themselves, but they will talk for themselves. But most importantly, apart from SO4, plenty other provisions and then are the standing orders and the constitution where they don't breach. We will not say parliament day in session until May. We just go there on recess. So if the president they call an emergency sitting now while session day on, the only thing what you go do through that proclamation day, now the only item for the other paper. But when I see there's a minister of state, the lay paper, they may get bill where they don't cancel cyber bill. So not all the reason where the president say parliament for sit for the first weekend and all the procedures where SO18 say you will follow in cases of statutory instruments, orders, rules and regulations have not been followed. So the other paper wrong, they not consult, and they not do what they're supposed to do before they come. We got plenty of other issues that we're going to talk about. Now only when we raise the issue, say the census where they want for conduct, as I talk to us so right now, the police they still pepper spray per week. Yes. They don't do it from where they come. Yes. But professionally, we don't resist and we resilient. With all the pepper spray, we still brave and we still in here. Because we believe in the people that they represent and we believe say we for respect and protect the law. So basically, we position that the document that were them purport for lay not properly laid before the House, and that even if they be one for lay and properly, they not be get the authority because the procedures they were them for follow before they lay the paper, they not follow the procedures there. That is our position, and we will continue to educate the public and the citizens we want to represent, because we work now for represent people, for make laws and for provide oversight. In this case, we get a representative challenge. So now that make there, and what Shauna say, we will continue for be peaceful and law-abiding citizens, but it is a shame that in the well of Parliament, for the second time under the SLPP government, in less than 5 years, they don't come with police at the well twice for beat MPs out of the chamber. So the point that today, the police then fetch themselves, because sometimes will not be left in the sea, they end up fetch themselves. It is a shame. We call on the police, continue to be professional, let them know say their duty, now for represent, now for protect with lives and property. Not to one person in life and property or group, now with all lives and property that to protect. But basically coming back to today, all what in and do so is illegal. The minister we can lay the documents, now the Attorney General. Both the Statistics Act and the Census Act of 2002, both make it clear say the definition of minister in the documents means the minister is responsible for development. And we don't get any information at the House we say the Minister of Development and Economic Planning not in the country. So we don't know how the Attorney General found himself to can lay the documents in the House. So I will stop there for now. The colleagues then
Mr. Shillon, Mr. Shillon, take it from there, sir. You know, you're now both sides. You know, the speaker, you know, the opposition, the three people from the opposition don't talk similar things. Them, and what are your take on this? What would I go wrong here? What went wrong? What thing they happen? Do they really care about the people? Do they really care about it, or just scoring political goals? Are they really for the people? Are they working for the people? That is the question where I want to watch you, sir.
Yeah, there's so many things wrong with the situation. Let me start with the Constitution itself before getting into the factual circumstances leading up to this confrontation between the various factions. As Mr. Kutubu said, that 1991 Constitution Day, I don't know how or what they're going to do, but it's a very flawed, defective piece of document in the sense that, first of all, you don't draft a constitution and use absolute terms or phrases such as the president, anytime he feels, shall or can summon or shall summon, which means command. A summon is a command. Parliament is an equal arm of the government. So the president is head of the executive. The Speaker of the House is head of the Parliament. So I don't see how a constitution can say the head of the executive has the power to command. The word summon, interpretation-wise. So see, the draftmanship is poor to start with. It could have read shall request, because it has to be with the consent and permission and agreement with the president. The president should never, under any circumstance, has the power to summon a meeting. Then it goes further to say any time the president feels it's overly broad, it's unreasonable, and who draws a constitution like that? I've always taken the position that the people who put this piece of document together, this 1999 Constitution, are people who are not constitutional scholars, who probably never took a course in constitutional law, but because they are lawyers and probably reputable lawyers in the country, or presumed to have been, they were given this responsibility instead of being a real expert, because there are certain languages you don't use in the Constitution. You don't give absolute power to an individual, you know? So, that's one. And what's wrong with the Constitution too? There are lots of things in the Constitution that do not belong in the Constitution. Some of these things should have been part of the body of laws as far as statutory laws are concerned, not constitutional law. Okay, so it's just like building a house. If the foundation is not well grounded, the layers, when you put on that foundation, they after a certain point, the house will begin to lean.
It will crumble.
Or things will begin to go wrong. Cracks will start taking place.
Yeah.
And this is what we're seeing. So for this to work properly, they have to go back to the drawing board, which they may or may not be willing to do. Now, going to the Speaker of the House, both sides could be right in this dispute, not to the physical confrontation, but in terms of interpretation of the law. Here is another problem. There is a third arm of government, and that is the judiciary. But they've been so paralyzed because whenever you have this type of dispute, that's when the courts come in. You can't leave the interpretation of certain sections of the law to the bodies or the opposing factions that will defend. That's why you have the courts. But these matters don't even find their ways to the courts, so we can get some definitive ruling on who is right, what's right, so this kind of mistakes cannot be repeated. So everybody is left interpreting, reading, extrapolating, distracting, doing all kinds of things in terms of how their own comprehension of the law is. So this is what the Speaker in the SO4 say only when in the Speaker and summon a parliament, is he required to give notice? Then they use the word consult. Well, to me, again, even consultation is not enough. It should be consultation and consent. Because you can't tell me, say, if me not leader, if me not opposition leader, you can say, Mr. Shillong, with the whole, at the summon a meeting, you don't consult me, but I may not agree. So so I may not consent. So consultation doesn't carry any meaning in this context. But the Speaker say, only when under SO4 that gives him, the Speaker, the power for summon Parliament, is he required to give notice. Otherwise, the law gives the president almost absolute power, absolute, the Constitution. The constitutional government doesn't have absolute terms at all. But in this sense, the framers of the Constitution give the president absolute power, which contradicts anything that could be constitutional, but then put it in the Constitution, that the president at any time he sees fit, he could just summon by just simply telling, or in fact, instructing the head of the other arm of government that Parliament should meet. So this is the matter of interpretation. So the Speaker of the House say, well, I was not required to give notice. But then the Speaker go ahead and contradict himself and say, but nonetheless, I give notice. I tell my clerk, say, let tell and say, would try for meet. But I was not required to do that. I did that anyway. Then there's a phrase called due process. If you summon a meeting, there should never be any laws that say you shouldn't give notice, because it contravenes procedural due process, the normal due process, because people should be given notice, and the word adequate notice, adequate has to be applied. You just can't give notice. So all of these are lacking. So the Speaker of the House summon at the behest, summon Parliament at the behest of the President, because the President says so, which is a form of dictatorship. So, I mean, the Constitution now has no role, and then the court that should be interpreting all of this, the court has no nowhere to be seen, no place. Nobody has taken anything to the court for trial, for interprets, and put this conflict of laws to rest so this will not be repeated. So this is where the country is. And this is what happens when you craft bad law. This is what happens when you give something to people and for put together, we're not qualified for putting together. You know, so I still say everybody is right in this respect, except that everybody is wrong in the misbehavior, the physical confrontation. But as far as the interpretation, it's everybody's say. Everybody is free. The court that should be the final arbiter, that's what the judiciary is for. They are nowhere to be seen. There is no role, and they can step in unless somebody takes it to them. So we are where we are because of too many bookmen. You know how they can say too many cooks spoil the food? Well, too many bookmen and just spoil the law now. This is all I have to say.
Fatima, before you go, give me one split second. Next time we'll meet on this, I will give you the names of everybody. We sit down, we grab this constitution. I will give you the names of everybody. Because I get the list. I get the list of this. Next time we'll sit down, they talk of this 1990-91 question. I will supply on that information. So back to you.
That's the question. If they get Sierra Leone at heart, where then they do one, because you make a point, say then sit down there because then a power, they don't ever know then they're gonna power. But Justice Cowan, we don't put a constitution review where they say they get for look. And I know say when Rado Soare, the Minister of Information, be there, it talk and say the presidents they put people in together with them for review and try for introduce it, and we hope they do. We hope they do.
If I make one, let's just make one quick comment. Yes, even when we talk about Justice Cowan, there was a group of Sierra Leonean lawyers, I included, Sori Tawali, Peter Dumbuya, many of us, American trained lawyers. When we heard about this Justice Cowan commission under Anes Kuroma, we told them that we wanted to make some intellectual contribution. We wrote them a letter. I will find that letter and tell them, say, we want to make some contribution to the ideas. The mentality is these people just are full of themselves. They ignored us completely because they thought they know it all. So even with the Justice Cowan thing, they never accepted or seek, even when we offer, they thought they knew it all. And as long as they continue with this kind of pomposity, this arrogant attitude, thinking they know it all, when they really, in fact, don't, the country will be subjected to this kind of thing. This is we're seeing the result of incompetence. I don't care whether these lawyers are from Oxford or Cambridge. That doesn't make them constitutional lawyers just because of the big degrees we didn't get, you know. So, but we're seeing the effect of it.
Okay, so let me go to another side of this lawlessness in Sierra Leone. Now let we go. We see a video today because we want to talk on the beatings, you know, the beating of the student. We want to talk of the guy where then kill na Hastings, the police. We want to talk on the Okada riders them we take to the streets because of the abuse and of power of the police. And then we want to reach that side, but time don't begin short, but we go come another day for finish the conversation. But one video, well, two video, one audio video. But before we play the audio and video, yeah, so we want to get a disclaimer and a VOS say, in a VOS not stand for the killing and overthrowing of a government. We don't. This is a democratic state where somebody do wrong. There is the law way for handle them. The killing and calling for the death and killing of blah blah blah. And but we go come. What I don't play and done. What we don't play both videos done. Okay. Then we go come with we own take on the video that we don't hear because nobody, no Sierra Leonean. Not for endorse certain video them when they talk of killing and overthrowing a president. Yes, we problem them boku. Yes, we think them boku. But we want to listen to the video them. Then go watch with Soja Man them. Were they doing the right thing? Was it their job? Was it professional of our policeman them and we army man them for the behave like how then they behave? So unala we listen to them to the one na audio, then we go see we soldier man them in uniform where then self they behave. And we believe say maybe now then this video come out from waiting they don't talk to themselves na social media. So unala play then two things here for video.
Once more again, my people, na General Black back, when they call Black Satan, na in they talk so back. Again, at the second audio, this where they pull for the day. And una no get for me again. For the second audio, this second audio where I don't pull so. Una no get for me again. Past April 27, where they storm the one old city. The capital city where they run at Madabiu and the independent and not get for right. At the bite Madabiu, at the bite Madabiu and soldiers them. And at the bite the police them, say the independent, if they say in the celebration, and not get for right, you know, the celebration not get for gone. And would they storm the city from the 25, 26 to 27, if we don't pull Madabiu on power. And now me General Blacker, we had to talk this. I mean, I deal with me men them, would they storm the one old city, put check barrier then all side. Any policeman will catch for morning, afternoon, net. Any policeman will catch with the kill him. With the roast and life like with the roast like in the roast beef na street. And we ready for them. The soldiers them anyone will catch na street with the roast some. Before they then they work out and cover you. If they no work out, anyone will mistake catch. They go now we side will lay ambush with the killer instant with the chook with the cut head with put head na tick. Chuka na checkpoint, na junction di. Na so we don't plan for do from the 25 to the 27. We dey begin we operation. This April, Madabio must go. If he not go, if Madabio not go, una no ever call me General Blacker again. Madabio for go. This mess is too much. We don't come. We the bad people who mean they fight the war, who witness the war, who fight the war, start to finish. We don't come back. We don't come storm the city back. We can't liberate to people them. We don't come back. This na General Blacker. Na me first and na me second audio this. I never pull audio again till storm the city. Na me all done day. Family, una stay safe, stay blessed. Una yeriwi, una no come on ado, una stay indoors. Una would not picking them. Una left we na the streets. We na streets ambassador, now we get the streets. Now we dey na streets. Now we know what's in the past na streets. We understand any.
Alright, well done, as possible.
Yeah. See this, I say for Tulumbu them all. I say Bushik. That's not a brush. Right now, presidential lodge now. Yeah, see presidential guard force. So I say this, I say for Tulumbu there. Any book shake as now a brush. When you say Okay. I see the hungry lion. Yeah. I say we represent the color people under the new direction. And also, brother, the tailor. Okay. Yeah. I say not talk. I say the for car. I say the canoe.
Tell us the talk and do president. Anybody try.
I say talk and do.
You go to for me next fall. Okay.
Yeah. I say hey she. I said you made a mistake. I said a brush. I said the independent. I said 2021. So get from
the cowboy. Go cannot teach. Let's do that. Cannot teach, we can send a worldwide.
10 days another year. 10 days another year. These 2-3 days, anybody will try. They wait for you.
Yeah, that's not a brush.
Anybody try president. Wait for you.
Yeah. Oh, let them come.
If we meet up again,
Paupa, say 2025. Paupa.
Hachi, die.
Sure, I say it's okay. They go. Look at. Well done.
Well, me people, then Adande we don't canto. We not get respect for life. We not get respect and dignity for the humanity. These are people that have been put in uniform where now then job for do waiting and do so. Was it right for handle if even then they respond to people that we say, then they go out there, because I know say I don't hear some people say then they wear black for go out there for say then they go celebrate independence. There's nothing to celebrate. And then we hear this audio where this other gentleman call himself say now then we don't fetch the war before and then they can't take the city back, all these certain things. Where the Ministry of Interiors, where are the police commissioners for come and address and put an ease to people? Because we get people in Sierra Leone, we get family in Sierra Leone. Gentlemen, what you wanna think? Una take on this? May people that una can join in the conversation. But what you wanna think? But what you wanna see? So how una they feel? What una they hear and see? We soldier man them, we citizen them. Then they make them kind of statements there. I pass and force to you. Mr. Shilo, you go first. Let we make them quick because we
Yeah.
don't get beaucoup
Well,
time, sir.
very, very quickly for me, first of all, nobody should ever subscribe or contribute or condone anybody way they threaten the ouster of a government by violent means. That should not be tolerated because we are talking about lawlessness. So this individual would call and they make all these threats. Not only is that terrible, but I will hope the government or the CID then go do the necessary investigation for try to clamp down or of whoever he may be, because that is no way to resolve national issues. So threatening the government, talking about killing people and roasting people. In fact, to me, that borders on, I think, some degree of insanity. So I don't even know whether to take this gentleman. Well, I don't take him seriously, but I don't even know whether he poses any serious threat in terms of just talking and acting normally. So, but as far as the Amimande are concerned, my thing is they are not the appropriate person for address the issue, but I may not get no beef with them. They can dance as much as they want, but I think the gentleman making the threat, I take him more seriously in terms of the manner in which it can pose or impose himself and threatening policemen, soldiers, everybody about killing them, shooting them, roasting them. Now, we cannot tolerate that kind of a talk there. And we have VOS for making perfectly clear that. But in no way, shape, or form do we encourage that.
To you, sir, Mr. Sako.
Again, this don't just show the level of division of the nation. Waiting, we need people and we go unite the nation. So we're not going to go through them kind of things there. It takes somebody way innovative, way get the leadership skill. Doesn't matter who, because what you want at the end of the day, not to somebody who are like we are related to Mr. Sako, and therefore support and no. Lord, we look for anybody where we believe say it will bring this kind of unity, national cohesion, wherein it will put things them in place where it go stop then kind of disgruntled behaviors. Yeah, but for me, as far as I'm concerned, then to APC, SLP, they have failed in that. These are the messages. Because I know they address that man. That man to me now a freak of nature. I know they address him.
But can we ignore those things though? Because this is how war starts. This is how things happen. We cannot turn an eye on things that are happening. This is a human being, whether psycho or not, because it look like he said that they don't fight war. So he gets that thing there without or 10 years war, and then small picking then don't become big man. And that is the only answer and the only language as a psychologist. That's the language that they speak. So should we dismiss them? Should the government dismiss those kind of people? Because they are all together. You understand? It is scary. It is scary that our people think like that. for see the atrocities of war where it been bring to we people. 30-day people then they when at the where you they see what been happen to them, loss of lives, properties, limbs, all kind of stuff. And then it seemed like we're slipping back to the dark hole. And Mrs. Biobi make a prayer one time, one fast month, or some people say swear. For the one that we want care, we go back to the dark hole. We want care the president go. People and they among the president, we want care, we go back to the dark hole. And to see also our soldiers openly challenging. These are security guards, but they wear the uniform of Sierra Leone. And openly challenging opposition party say una come on a door, we go meet una next wall. That is, there is no other way for resolve nothing but killing. And this is scary, and this the turn me stomach. And Professor, that person to you, I don't know what do you think of what do you see, because it is really troubling. And we cannot continuously dismiss the other people, because the other people will one day feel in their own thing. That is their perception. That is their view. That is their reality. Does it make it right? No. Does it make it rational? No. But that is their reality. And for how for pull and come on that reality, they for bring them to the rest of the majority of the society. That is the problem, Professor Apasan Teresa.
Well, the only thing I'm aware about this is the only concern is between you and Mr. Shilon. The fellow where they come, spew this kind of gobbly, they cook and irresponsible claptrap way we don't even need to listen to. My problem with that, it appeal to the calculus of what you call warehouse of functional illiterates and sea of ignoramus system. Remember them. That they didn't have the majority where, that kind of thing they relate to me, you, and women, and Dr. Sako, and we lawyer Yanda. Somebody they will dismiss them, actually. But could this be said of the other people the way I just categorizing them belong to what you call warehouse of functional illiterates and sea of ignoramuses? Yes and no. But then again, the solid swim at Pandis, and put Paris will say, for put elephant bondo not to the tinona, or they put the close panam na in. So if this man actually believe what he talk, hey, let go to him. They go find out so when they can say thank God, now one God they thank God not in one God they. So back to you guys.
Okay. The question though, I maybe because I'm a woman, I don't know if I'm concerned. I'm concerned for my people. I'm concerned because war destroy a lot of we people them. And I'm concerned because it's scary. So should the soldiers have behaved like this? Should the soldier them in uniform? Will the CIA, if this was in America or Saudi, for example, or maybe any other country, because we saw a president where they deal with certain behavior there in an African country, is this acceptable of our uniform personnel? Is this acceptable? Because if we uniform personnel are thinking like this, let we say that other guy there, we all dismiss and say, hey, do not they. But then, in reality, it's real for them. It is in reality. This can be a time bomb that I don't want to put it out there because they say what you put out there, it will become social, it can become, but I cancel for let that energy there, for let it not happen, because people are going to die. Lives are going to be lost, and bullets don't have a name. When you shoot a bullet, some of these people are not marksmen or whatever, they just shoot. Some people are on drugs, they take drugs. They don't do drug tests in the Sierra Leone army. Do they do drug tests for see if the soldiers are under influence of drugs and alcohol? Because we know in the war in Sierra Leone, they inject people picking them with drugs and give them weapon for go kill. We have to be careful. And we have to take everything serious. To me, I don't know if it's because I'm this woman, or maybe I get anxiety disorder and I get scared and I take every word of somebody serious. Maybe that's why, but I don't know.
Edmond, the great philosopher Edmond Boxey, he said the one that will not be member yesterday and will repeat the same mistake today. If people are not member, the senseless carnage and wanting destruction where take place na the country, where a day like today, everybody does seem for lost in balance. Hey, welcome to the club. I don't know what me go say.
Me go say
and to you,
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, sir, Mr. Sako.
Oh, okay. What I go say about the man them is them behavior unprofessional. I agree 100% with Mr. Shilon. Them behavior very, very unprofessional. In fact, waiting them do then give importance to this particular person. Because
exactly.
Then give importance to this particular person for say a carry weight. We go able for even help this person recruit more people then because the higher ups way the right way they guide the president don't hear and then don't respond. So they're unprofessional. Them if I don't set them out, they make like them say they not hear anything, then do their clandestine preparation, how then go able for guide the country so we people are not go die. Without them people they are not go die. But it's unprofessional and unfortunate that they do them thing.
Okay, well, I will take a few callers. We are waiting with you and go say a bit. Caller, good evening, good afternoon. Watching now your name and also you call from, please.
Okay. Hello, Auntie Fadima. This is Omar. The call from Switzerland.
Yes, Mr. Omar. But before you begin talk, you go tell we are doing your language today, sir.
I know they get it clear. Sorry.
I said before you begin talk, tell we are doing your language, please.
Guten Abend.
Okay, now waiting down there. Yaloka.
That's German.
Good evening. Dana German.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, that's Salone language. Salone language.
They say your language.
Oh, Alniura.
Who's one day?
Madinka.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Auntie Fadima, first of all, the video una play, that video una play, sorry, that audio una play, una not before don't play that audio. Because una just give importance to that somebody with the call for violence. Of course, I'm a man that you say una get right for player so that the appropriate authorities then go see the video and then go take the actions. Because no soldier man not above the law, then get a chain of command. So if something happen, then get a command where if you call them to order. So a necessary una plan. But that audio there will be big. We never forget people who they analyze situations. VOS, no matter you look at her, a prominent news outlet in Sierra Leone, and everybody they listen. So a small mistake on a make, it go far. So there una they choose video that una they play. More especially that una they call blacker. Now an irresponsible video, audio there next time una go for choose una they play. Una go talk about somebody una not play because una play, do I don't get the news if they will get the news. So now so the violence is spread. Yeah. Okay, now at the camp, Auntie Fadima, we get, if I'm not forgetting, 2 days to independence we get. We go for still the girls they give leave service to what in the go on in that country. 2 days to independence. The constitution will be they just like what Mr. Kotubu talk. Now constitution will be organized be, what they put in place, that way more take power, it be just come out of one party system. Then they just feel say now so it get for left. So what they do, they make a constitution and they draft a constitution where it maintain the one party. Now that way the the happen, so we don't see everybody don't know waiting at the thing now on ground. Everybody don't know what now democracy now we fight for. At least everybody be hard. We feel say una we get prominent na social media. At least una come up with a petition, where an international petition where Sierra Leoneans then go sign, where social activities then go sign for at least we push, let them change this pro-colonial constitution. Other than Sierra Leone they give lip service, they give lip service now 60 years. It's in 5 years time Sierra Leone they resign. no, or I can say Sierra Leone retire. We still discuss constitution where give president power for the power and call parliament at any time, different organ of government, you call at any time where you feel. That which means President Madabio go left in bed with Fatima Bio, tell parliament he wants to see the next day, then go grab Gode. They wait for an avrana take come on a room. Now that they try to tell me. So do ya now we know the uses as lip service. Sierra Leone we don't come out to that level now. Now 2 days we get to 60 years. So now we maintain that and we advocate for making them change the constitution. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Mr. Omar. Next caller, please. Good evening. What's your name? Who's you call from? Hello. Yes. Good evening, caller. What's your name? Who's you call from, please? Yeah. Go ahead, sir, ma'am.
Yes, you're going to voice of Africa. My name is Fatmata Kagbo.
So whose language you want to tell we are do today, pan?
Oh, na Creole language, kushe.
Okay, Kabo. Okay. All right, go ahead, please. Go ahead there.
Okay. My name is Fatmata Kagbo.
I think if you turn your TV or wherever you listen.
Of the young man with the key now Hastings, Alpha Cabo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listen the.
You can turn if you turn your TV. If you turn your TV, they listen to it.
That if it's on the TV, but I get TV.
Turn the TV down. Then
for radio or whatever it is.
Yeah, turn what you listen to. That's why you hearing yourself again. Go ahead, Madam Fatmata.
Okay. Yeah, I listened to the show last week. I heard a young man come on the line. We talk about the incident that happened na Hastings. They say, Amy just want to talk, say, the Miss Douglas, na in get the land, I get the land, I left her for her. Now, say the renting papa or renting papa the land, so now they get the land.
Yeah.
I don't get the name of the person we called, but I just want to make it clear because this station, this two the so people the Canada they move for the views a good thing God bless you for that time for people like the Canada and listening and get information. But he also right for the people to talk the right information, give the right information. You know?
Go ahead, yeah.
Because for let him use this platform when worldwide people they listen everywhere for can talk something we not right, we not nonsense, not good because they see and I know but we continue. Because you can send them kind of information there, people can go do things we not right, but before they get the right information, something bad don't come out. Something bad don't come out of it, and it's not good. Before you get information, I don't know if you're a sympathizer of the Douglas family or waiting, but if you're supposed to fact check your information, know the story, know the content before you can use a media like this and this story where you know right, where you know no but you know. The young man with the Alpha Cargo, like I said, I'm a small border. We Maryland, United States. So this set, this data is set for years for this land, with this woman. But we end up going to condemn the border there in the call and say, we're not going to let them say that the parent land. We're just going to court. So they end up going to court. And the Ministry of Land, in favor of the Cargo family, then give the land to me. where they give the land, the paper, everything, it don't have phone, the border snap, everything to acre, how they put on the Seneca. Always they say, now for Kandongle, you can do something, you can do. I say, okay, for now, now just baking anything, just mark inside, land. Because this woman, says some part of the land. But, if, well, the cargo farm would have to say with the land over 30-something years, because we get primary school where the pa go brush that family. We were there for we touch the first wood them, and if you know them brush from the black wood, the firewood them and everything, that part plants that place they until able for do again. Now that place they na the reservoir. We find like the damp of we find like a reserve water for the village, and we prepare now being the Mumbai chief of Hastings village. So nothing. We serve the Hastings community and village for so many years before you're not able to serve again before you give a chieftaincy to somebody else. But Douglas have been just like the when you get Nayaso, I will say where we get the governor. We papa na be like the mayor kind. So they all been work hand in hand because they all need the expertise and experience for do anything. And we know particular very well. No particular in West, no this woman was saying I know like Gona Hastings, before I can I not ever see my Hastings. Even once they say picture, once the picture say, oh, that's nice. They say, well, not the Hastings, but if you get papa, I know for all this year, one day for the one go work out for, don't see you. So, but, regardless of all these stories, the land and all that we say, because nobody ever not supposed to die for a piece of land.
Yeah, nobody not supposed to die. My sister, I know. Yeah,
like that animal. Done in life. This man has been very, very family man.
For them one that we don't know this story.
Boy picking
This is the sister of the guy where they killed Hastings, where the police then kill where them in the fight for the land. And there was another caller we talk when they talk on the Douglas then side, how now the Douglas then get the land and all this. But this is the sister we don't tell una now say now in Papa been get the land, in Papa na been chief for Hastings for 30-something years. Now they acquire that land day. And then at the thing, nobody not deserve for die. That is what we talk on the lawlessness of we police the lawlessness, the uprising of the lawlessness. Now, Frito, now a young man, because of it is standing ground, police go there, they don't know how to behave, then go shoot them. Then shoot them to a fatal shot. You understand? So I know you tried to call last week, but we'll not be able to take everybody. I think your husband sent me a message, called me and told me, I say, we go give you air time. So we go make a time where you go kind of explain more of your story, make the people that on your side of the story, because we know say the young guys of 18 then take upon themselves, say this is enough, they don't kill one of we own, then take the law into their own hands, then say go on the street and riot. So condolences to your family. I pray for your family, for let God give you the solace for deal with this loss. And that's the lawlessness we talk about in Sierra Leone, the way we do things, the way things that they do. Everybody gets gun, everybody get bullet, everybody trigger happy, and crazy things have been done. But we'll take two more callers, them 2 or 3 more callers, them then we done for today, and then we go come back again for can continue another conversation next week. So good evening, caller. What's your name? Who's the call from, please?
Good evening. They call anonymous, and because I don't feel comfortable for giving me information.
Yeah, that's fine. But whose language you want to tell we?
Okay.
You say what?
I just want for give me your input if that's okay.
Okay. Yes, that's fine. That's fine. This is the voice of Sierra Leone. Every Sierra Leonean in voice matter here. We give everybody their voice, their view, your view, my view. Everybody has their view. Go ahead and whose language you want to tell where Adupan before you begin your conversation
Well, the
concerning.
simplest one, Buabise.
Oh, BC above account.
But
Okay, go ahead.
anyways, I just want for tell now, thank you. You look so good, Farima. You look really
Thank you, my
beautiful.
love.
To all the gentlemen, we want to thank una all for the good work una they do. Let God continue to bless una. Me on input na that the government is a mess. We get grown up men where they behave like kindergarten kids inside playground. And the things where then they do are not right. They not tell well for we growth if we need for grow, because SALONE need for grow right now. We're not perfect, but we can be if we want to. And we need strong-minded individuals, people that will put the country first, and people that will just naturally love Sierra Leone for let the country go forward. But it looks like they don't get the love for we, they don't get the sorry act for we, they don't care about we pain, and they don't care about we and we emotions them. SALONE is a very traumatic nation. So when people begin to talk about war, about killing people and setting people on fire, I remember being in Sierra Leone and I passed through the body them wouldn't set on fire, and you can still smell. Like when they talk about that, my senses just like you can smell the burning flesh, So it's a very traumatic thing. But I no go condemn Muna for play that audio because it kind of need for go out there. Let the one them where they were not able for know for saying that this not the plan. Let them know so then go shelter themselves properly. Sometimes here in America, people then just love costume. Let a natural citizen not go put on police uniform. They walk around and thinking, saying that just a costume, then somebody go mistake them for the police and set them on fire, So I no go totally say the audio is wrong, but I go glad they say it needs to be out there. And also with the government officials and where the army force officers where they send messages dancing. It seems like they're all drunk or high on cocaine and crack, and they're just out there dancing and sending messages of violence. This is wrong, and this is not the house of the president. Like it's just a disgrace. The president, to me, seemed like he need a thorough mental checkup, or maybe he was just simply power hungry before he get into power, and now he don't eat stay, don't bell full, the food don't go na eat, so he can't even think straight no more. And for me, my own prediction is that down the road, Fatima go divorce that man after then left power, because Fatima is just another person we know they think. First of all, the hands up and this pad them where this woman decide for bring, and every time they go now, every single one of them schools there. Yeah, think about the money where Fatima they waste on those entourage and in car driving. Think about the gas in a country where we say gas they go up, but in the drive now every individual school with the entourage going far down villages and towns, wasting gas and natural resources. And think about the setup, the people and where they go around them, all that, just a pure waste of money. For pad when a 1 grain packet and they give to one Pekin for a whole year, like that's nasty if you consider the fact. Because waiting a pad when for just 36 of them in a pack, where they go get to Pekin, how will they benefit that Pekin in life? If you create a structure where a child will get pads every day, for whatever period they need them for like 4 or 5 years down the road, that's I consider for saying a good health. But just one pad for what? For make unnecessary noise? To me, that's foolishness. If we not invest in something what we call the menstrual cup. The menstrual cup for people who don't know, I'm not a cup where they say female can use, and that lasts you a long time. All you have to do, and it's even more better to use because you don't get to worry about anybody picking up your pads, doing juju or anything like that. You just use your cup, you clean them up, and it's so safe and sound. I used it myself. But you know, when you get people and when they look for the country in interest, they just they about for destroy everything. This is my take, and I love you all. Thank you for
Okay,
listening.
thank you, Anonymous. That is a young Sierra Leonean in a talking concern, a woman that experienced the war, and it brings trauma. This is post-traumatic stress disorder, and people do just by your senses of smell, of hearing, or thing, or just being in the situation, they trigger the thing of war. That is why we say war. Some people, yes, they're not, comfortable with playing the video, but that's why we did a disclaimer. We don't support it, but I believe we have to deal with the reality. This is how our people are thinking. This is how our people are behaving. This is what we have, and we cannot look the other way like it not exists, because pretending that it not exists not go take them away. This is how I see things, and this is, some of people will not we had to have a discussion before we play this. Some people in the panel were not in favor of it, but we say, we believe, say it is a thing that is happening, and this is the reason why they are doing this, and we get foresee the reason why for try for carve out that behavior and talk about that behavior. And let me take one more last call, then I go give me panelists them, let them give them last word. I go give them few minutes each, let them give them last word, what you will get for say in the eve of the independence, and what thing we wish for Salone, what you want to see the better of Salone, and we get a presidential candidate among we. So let me take one more caller. Sorry if I'm not able to reach you now, but maybe I think we're gonna do something on Independence Day. I don't know yet, but una watch out. Una set una notification bell on VOS when we come up. Una all go come. We go celebrate Salone. We're not gonna give up on Salone, but we go give up on the people. We try for change the behaviors of the people. Come, caller. Good evening. Last caller for tonight. Waiting on your name and which side they call we from.
Thank you so much. This is Ezekiel. I call from Oregon.
Yes, Mr. Ezekiel from Oregon. Go ahead, sir.
All right, me I go greeting at Palo. I will check it. I will say. But anyway,
I will say, go ahead.
The caller actually made a really salient point to him. Me are okay for letting you play the two clip of them, the audio and the video of the military. I just want to let people know, say, before even before even you, the player, we be don't receive them. We get social media. So they've been done distribute that. Now somebody from the village, in fact, now Benembu, after Kalangba, now he sent out to me, the military yon, and the voice, the audio have been done area before this time. So it did it already, it's in the media. So okay, we make the disclaimer and play both. That's fine. I think, like what in the previous call have been mentioned, the whole thing we go through now, Sierra Leone, is that after the war, if anything for don't change, that first time we then do the disarmament, now everything for don't change, just like how it happened in Rwanda. After the war, we'll be flip the page. If you even go for restructure Freetown, now that 10 they will for don't do it. But we not do them. Everybody now they flip. Sadly, now that who side would they so? One thing I've been done propose say, if we really want the country to go forward, we need probably for not forget election for 25 years, so that the new generation way they grab. By the time then they come to turn 20 and begin for work in that country, na new page then will work up. And how that will happen? If we don't get the two major parties, we then go sit down together and come up with this idea, way for the national plan. We definitely, we do one election once and for all, one person win from the party. Let's say APC win or SFPP win. The president way they win, you not forget vice president from that EU party. The other party now for be the vice president. And we they agree now, every 5 years they rotate. That president, they calm down. They then take the vice president from the other party, be the president. Then the president from that party will take SFPP party, whatever they come up as the real person for lead them, it be the vice. 5 years, that then they will get a national plan which will help the country. If not to that, Now this Tontonia will go deeper forever. Believe you me, until we get somebody, we get really, real Sierra Leone love. And what here they talk about, not to love for just the land, or for talk say, I love the people. You know, here we are. You know, if you get love for human being, the one life of any Sierra Leonean way they take, you know, there is no way me as president, like what at the field, that love what they feel for human being. And not me as president, I'm not going to see one Sierra Leonean get killed. It well known on social media and not come for car addresser. The reason why the soldiers then they do what then they do so now because there's no leadership. Even the military head, then they're afraid for even address anything way down for the military. You know, so therefore those who are with the president then get the right bold mind for come out and do what they need for do. Because the military leader not even get mind for talk anything with the president not support. You see? Now the military head and the police head, now they're supposed to address this. They don't need for anything. Therefore don't come on the audio television and say, people of Sierra Leone, everything they under control. When I'm not afraid anything. Go there at peace. Everything will go do them in a peaceful manner. You know? Now so that for don't happen. But because everybody they afraid, then you know, because the authority just lie in the president, and so in Bobode, they can come out and do anything way they want to do. Sadly, now so no more the country will continue for go. That's my contribution. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. And that was the last caller. We make very, very good points them. I pass on to the panel them. Let Agimi guess the first take on what you do so far with all the callers waiting na yon for Salone, waiting, but you know the truth is we're a divided nation. Even the president don't already say and say now with man first don't divide we self divide through tribe and party. So how we go move forward, come up at all this, how Salone go before, how we go to once upon a time and to the beautiful Sierra Leone. We're going to the 22nd century. Maybe in our lifetime we will see a Sierra Leone like them place here where they so where the rule of law go supersede everything else. Not the rule of law, not the rule of the land, not the supreme being, not the supreme head. I don't know how we go do them. But one thing where a lot of people don't talk, the love. Where is the love? Now go ahead, please.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to VOS and Ms. Fadiba. Thank you for inviting me. You co-host Mr. Kutubu Koroma, Mr. Mohammed Shilon. And I thank you very much for bringing me come on this platform where we talk about issues them way matter to we fellow Sierra Leoneans. Waiting me go say everybody who do hear we don't call in, we they listen. We all do agree, say, from the callers, them everybody is kind of like almost disgruntled or almost they give up on waiting. They go on the security system now we country, you know, okay, and we all go agree, say that is true. We don't play two videos. We don't play one from the military. We don't play one from one guy where they talk about things them way me go say very, 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 very dangerous. But at the same time, where these things are coming from, me they always base and say one size not fit all. You know, when you talk, then go say, well, where Obama come, pick the people away come out na in your area. That is true. Where Donald Trump come in cabinet, that na the executive branch is fine. But what about the other appointments? We young country, we get almost 16 tribes, as we they say. Everybody they look waiting this do for this, waiting this do. So the nature of jealousy and dissatisfaction is high in Sierra Leone. When you take those things into account, for say the differences among people, them waiting this one go feel if I do this. Then now with that mindset, you they go into governance, you get them people and then you mind, wherein you go build an organization or a government where everybody go feel say, yes, you did right by me. The Timini man, the Loko man, the Mende man, the Yalonka, the Kisi, and the Madingo, the Fula, whoever where they go know say they are equally represented in government, even if that the executive branch share them and not look for say this na APC. If the APC man is capable, can serve Sierra Leone well, you take that APC man, you bring and come inside. Any party, just bring them come inside so that you go build that unity day. And when unity day, then go able for collaborate with you and work for build the country. But when the country is disintegrated, this disunity, this one number one can sit on here. You go one see you fail. So then go do all things in their power, let you fail. So they go point say, you see what you been telling now. This why I back in self on debt. Who that they suffer? Now we the people. So wait till they say, so this elect to we the citizens who would vote. Lord, we forget about saying this na me mama and party, this na me papa and party. Or Mr. Kutubu not get money, Mr. Shiloh not get the money, Mr. The one they will not feel say get the money and they can't thief more. Now they hungry pass we. Look for if Mr. Shiloh is capable of making Sierra Leone a better place. Mr. Kagbo is capable. Give it to Mr. Kagbo. Not look and say na APC come on na Limba or na Timini. Na Madingo. Give out to them so that the country go before. That's all me they say. That all will resolve this disunity, this violence, and waiting we for do leadership. When something happen, we for hold with parliament them responsible, then get 70% of waiting they happen now. All the time we go they look to by Kroma or we look to the president. The parliament, you not go here see them call the IG, Inspector General of Police. They not go call the Internal Affairs Minister for column where they control, where responsible for local government, where police they under. Bring them to parliament. Why you institution not the function? If your institution not the function for the people of Sierra Leone, then we will recommend for change. You kick you out and bring somebody where go do them. But we not hold anybody accountable. Once na government do them, it all left both case. Nobody not they investigate. But where the man when a popo girl on a catch am in the do rari girl business, on a hold am on a pull money na hand, even though he not get. Where that body go thief na market for let it bring kale and mama eat on a beat until on a kill am. But the man where they thief you million, where they make sure say no hospital equipment, no they people that they die, on a they celebrate on a clap for them. On a say no, this now we on a no go hold am. We get for finish that culture, and that depends on the citizens of Sierra Leone. This now that me get for say. Thank you very much for allowing me.
And to you, Mr. Shilon, sir.
Your mic, a day off, Mr. Shilon.
Thank you, Mr. Sako. I appreciate that. I never realized that. Yeah, well, basically, the gentleman we call last, the last caller, he get a novel idea. You see, they can say the devil is in the detail. The idea about governance and what he proposed, you're not going to go college for come up with something way ingenious. So it's a good idea. What Mr. Sako talk about, so a good idea. But I think at the end of the day, what you will talk about now, integrity. Integrity is what matters. There are a lot of things we would see before our very eyes. Sometimes you just wonder, they always say, even members of the opposition, and I'm getting very upset with them. There are so many issues of concern that we bring come each weekend on this show and other shows. Where then was then they should be coming out of the mouth of the opposition. If they are serious, there are major issues that they are not addressing, and they claim to be the alternative party in government, waiting to govern. But you see, they not address major, then violence will take place. So they not address them. Sometimes when they do, now a selective thing. But then they act like for say the opposition also they act like for say all is fine. There are major issues. So well, how do one kind of government? How do one take over from this government when they say anything wrong with some of the things they will not say wrong? I have not seen much said by the opposition about the Connaught Hospital incident. I haven't seen anything much said from the opposition about the doctor who was assaulted by a minister who should have been fired because he committed an assault on another person. The president should not have tolerated that. I haven't seen them addressing the rise in crime. I have not seen them. This is in the opposition at the talk board. So it's disappointing to me when even we would look for a viable alternative to the current government, there is none. you know, because these guys don't take issues seriously. They're making all this big noise in Parliament because of 86.1, Section 86.1 and Section 05. But these are just trivial matters compared to other issues, you know. So my final thought is there is a whole lot to be said, but like Jesse Jackson can say, we have to keep hope alive. So in that sense, I'm still hopeful, you know, that
Thank
there
you.
will come better days.
And to Kutubu, is Kutubu there? Okay, I
I
Yeah.
think
don't
we
think
lost Kutubu, but yes,
Oh,
Professor, go ahead, sir.
no.
well,
I don't
me
see
on very
you.
short.
I hear you.
Yeah, me on very
Go ahead.
short. For let we be a nation, we get for be a nation of laws, and the only way that we're able move forward. It's not a question of unity, peace, or be borders. No, no, no. Just get one thing we hold all together, and the law we equitable. I mean, if you violate the law, if the president violate the law, then they deal with that. The other country will deal with the ordinary. I'm out trouble say no, the change people there for leadership. I just want to remind them, SLPP or APC not for the in power. If waiting Rollins me suggest to Kane Yunkela, as well as I call her Sam Sumana, and the other guy then but what happened, ego then I mean day before. When they go there, now oh, now me go University of Heaven, now me study there. Oh, guess what? Now me na the clerk to God. So now me get all the credentials. So now me for be leader now. When that not happen, where they not agree that, look what happen. On the contrary, na Gambia, Baron na be security guard na England, but that's not the issue. The issue was forget that monster, when they call Yaya Jammeh, forget her out of office. So it don't be matter who that did it. Now this very true, these guys, Baron not they stand election anymore. The other person they come by God power, and go stand election. So now so people they want go before. But when they we ego, yeah, we ego. Now you study too much book. Now you don't work now United Nations of Heaven. Now you don't work the so now you get the gravitas for leadership. Now you don't do this. Now you don't now maybe don't serve as vice now me that we don't serve as the next to God. So now me get it until we change with attitude, with mentality and with perception and we understand say we get something at stake now. Yeah? We need for the sacrifices and we part get for be born with characteristic understanding and careful fortitude for not be able to come up from this point to that point there. So until we do that, and then finally, we they can start campaign where go call on with citizens for let them call on them people, let them change this kind of bad thing where they get because me not go call this constitution, forget a country where the government where the president now a demigod. Now wait till about the president, anytime the president oh no. Oh no. This is not the 21st century. This we need government for the people, by the people, and existing with the legitimate consent of the people. We will involve everybody. So until then, thank you very much for the invitation.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate you now to Mr. Sako. I extend very say thank you. But I want to read one thing where I've been writing on Facebook, and Facebook has a way for member you what you've been right. And this is what I wrote 2018, and I wrote this. I say I heard from my children, I heard from my people, I heard from my motherland, a country that was so full of promises and hope. Of West Africa, a land that sits upon the shores of the Atlantic Ocean, serene and so peaceful, yet so hurt and violated, exploited and raped by many. Her mountains shaped like lions, watching over its borders hopelessly, um, struggling to protect her from the evil and greed of humanity. She bleeds, she cries. She sits in the ruins and agony from neglect, bad governance, 10 years of civil war, Ebola, poverty, and lawlessness. The air still polluted from the smoke left behind by the rebels. The old rusty wheel of democracy and rebuilding turning slowly. Her scale of unity, freedom, and justice tilted. At present, in the middle of a presidential election, the country waits in limbo. Everything from school to businesses is at a standstill. Her people wait in fear and anxiety, awaiting results of who will take um, over the over to resuscitate and revive my beloved Sierra Leone, a country I love and I left behind in my youthful years. Memories of love, family, and of oneness. How long does my people have to suffer? Oh God of the universe, show us mercy. Uh, I hurt for my children that they will never feel the soil that I once enjoyed. I cry, I pray, I hope, I believe, and I wait. Land that we love. I can't say
Amen.
anymore.
Amen.
I can't say anymore. This is my hope for Sierra Leone, and this is what I thought of Sierra Leone, and I still think of Sierra Leone. We want a better country. Like Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. He had a dream, and it came to pass, and President Obama became president. I have a dream that one day our children will be able to live to the maximum potential. I have a dream that justice will prevail for all people. I have a dream where people can be able to speak their mind freely without being afraid. I have a dream that the laws of the land will be supreme. I have a dream. I have a vision of Sierra Leone. And I know say beaucoup people get the same vision as me. You know, Baku people get the same dream as me. We want a good Sierra Leone. We pray for our leaders. We join with the things we do. We stand in faith and we stand in hope. But until then, the struggle continues unabated. And we're not going to give up on Sierra Leone. But we give up on the people that want to make Sierra Leone and hold Sierra Leone hostage. The good farmer, they go into the farm and take off the weeds where they suffocate the good ones. And we as Sierra Leoneans together, we can take off the weed. And then for let we move Salone, for let we get a better Sierra Leone. Till next week, we go come back. Happy anniversary to you all. May God give us the grace and the strength for endure and for push and for speak and for stand in the truth. Sometimes the truth is unpopular, but hey, we got to do it. Till next week, I love you all. And remember, God is love. Fedima, if I the shine today, when I'm not jealous, me go work on yourself. Tomorrow, the sun will shine by you, the cloud over me. Till next week, go do something nice for somebody. Go give kind words. Go give a hug. Go bless somebody with something. So till next week, I salute you all. I'm out. Fedima, good night.
Good night.